the various platforms and various time zones. You're logged on to WinFM 98.9 on your FM dial, attuned to another episode of Voices. My name is Socrates. And of course, in many parts of the world, it's another fantastic Friday. We're saying salutations to all the many folks celebrating anniversaries. We are with the folks who are going through whatever bereavement. Tomorrow is always a brighter day. That's my personal philosophy. But we have a couple of guests in the studios. One is actually making his way to be seated. Have you won the address yet? Have you won the address yet? Okay. So I am going to wait until my guests are properly seated to introduce the topic of the day. In the meantime, I want to say good morning to our many listeners. We have Rosemary up there in New York. We have Jennifer in Atlanta. We have Amber in Anguilla. We have Avril. Again, she's in New York. We have Mr. Hendrickson. All those guys are logged in and they make the contribution. Chris Collins up there in Sheffield. How are you doing? I know it's not the best weather where you are. I know you wish to be here within the Federation. SKN. It's a bit overcast out there, a bit of a drizzle from time to time, but of course we're still in the hurricane season. Being mindful of that, we cover the blessings as we go forward daily. As I said, we have some very special guests with us today, two persons actually. We're waiting for one of the other persons, a bit challenged with mobility. They'll be here, they'll be seated, and then we take off. In the meantime, let me do some housekeeping matters, give you some matters on Monday this year. On Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock, there will be a general meeting for the taxi fraternity at Port Zante. That's on Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock. There will be a general meeting for all taxi operators where you will be updated on matters discussed with the Tourism Authority. We met with the minister on 2 days ago, actually, with the Minister of Tourism and, of course, the staff. So we want to update all the members on what was discussed, get their input in terms of recommendations also. So please pass the word. We have a couple of chats. We would have informed some of the membership, but for those who are not in the chat and you hear this, please pass the information on to many members. There will be a meeting for the taxi membership. That's a general meeting at 9 o'clock on Tuesday morning at Port Zante. So please be mindful and pass the information on. Some folks say, well, I don't listen to radio, I didn't hear it, and they make that as an excuse for not being informed. So for those who have powers who do not listen to radio, make sure you pass the information to them. And we need a full turnout as much as possible so we can discuss the matters that are relevant prior to the opening of the 2022-2023 cruise ship season. Okay? Give me 2 seconds. Let me see if the gentleman is plugged in. You have audio? Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
I'm speaking. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Get your mic to you. Put the microphone forward. We have with us in the studio this morning Mr. Bergen, and he's also known in Calypso circles as the Awesome Navigator. He's sorted himself out, but I'm going to have him introduce himself and his associate, and that will give you the tone of the conversation today. Put the phone on silent. Okay, so Mr. Bergen, the mic is yours.
Pleasant good morning to each and everyone. I'd like to say good morning again to the I would like to say good morning to the general public, wherever WinFM can be heard. And this morning, we're here to discuss the life of persons with disabilities. And we are representing the St. Kitts Nevis Association.
We being who?
Of persons with disabilities. Myself, Joseph Bergen, here speaking, and I have my colleague, Mr. Rockcliffe Boeing.
Mr. Boeing, welcome to the studios of WinFM. I think you've been here before, but you may speak to the audience.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. Let me say a pleasant good morning to our listeners home and abroad. My name is Rockcliffe Boyne. I am the Vice President of the St. Kitts and Nevis Association for Persons with Disability. And as Mr. Bergen said, we are here to discuss, matter and, the different issues that persons with disability is facing on a daily basis.
That's a beautiful intro that sets the tone for our conversation. We're going to get into some discussions first before we open the lines to take calls from the public. So, Mr. Bergen, Mr. Ratcliffe, welcome once again. And Mr. Bergen, the mic is yours.
Yes, once again, thanks for having us here. And before we get into our discussion for today, Mr. Rockcliffe, as one of our long-standing members, I must say, since the inception of the beginning of the association, Mr. Rockcliffe and his wife would have been two of our long-standing members, and they are both vision impaired, and he would give you a brief synopsis of the situation of the association, from its inception to present.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bergen. I must say this is a very significant month for me because the month of October, this month, it marks 30 years.
30.
Yes, 30, since I've been a part of the St. Kitts and Nevis Association for Persons with Disabilities. I'm Guyanese born, and I came to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis to take up residency in September of 1992. And the following month, October, I decided to join the organization, and I'm still here, I'm still active. Let me just, also before I get into my little presentation, I also want to take this opportunity to send out condolences to the family of the late Mr. Victor Daly. Mr. Victor Daly, as many people out there, our listeners will have known that he is one of the founding members of the St. Kitts and Nevis Association for Persons with Disability. And when I joined the organization, he was the then president, and he passed away, I think it was last Saturday, so I want to extend condolences to his family.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Now, the St. Kitts and Nevis Association for Persons with Disability is a non-governmental, non-profit organization. The organization was founded, I was told, because I got involved, I think it was 11 years after when I came, in May of 1981. So we actually will be celebrating, I think it's, well, my maths is correct, 41 years? Yeah. The organization is affiliated to Disabled Peoples International. It's an international organization, and it's divided into 5 regions. We have the African region, the Asia Pacific region, the European region, the Latin American region, and the Caribbean and North American region. That is where St. Kitts and Nevis is a part. Yes, the Caribbean and North American region. The organization was formed really to sensitize people in terms of the way forward for persons with disabilities. Because, Mr. Moderator, in the past, disabled people, they were looked at like, we were nothing. People, it's like people feel that when you have a disability, you're not useful.
Useful anymore?
You're not useful anymore. You shouldn't be a part of society. We used to be told, when we go on the streets, well, why you guys are on the street, y'all need to stay home, You can't take part in nothing. If if you go to a little social function, we all doing here. People feel it when you get a disability. You must just
The sideline?
cling to the church. I am not saying religion is not good. I don't want our listeners out there to get me wrong. But, I don't want people to have this concept because, you have a disability that, the only option for you is, you must just go to church morning, noon, and night. You understand? Persons with disabilities, we also, we have issues and so to deal with, right? We supposed to be given the opportunity to take part in whatever we feel like taking part in. Okay? We're supposed to be given the right to life, the right to education, the right to employment, and the right to a safe and secure environment. And I think this is what that was the reason then why DPI was formed to promote advocacy across these 5 regions that I have just mentioned. And to sensitize people, let them know that even though somebody have a disability, he or she can still make meaningful contribution. And I think that is what we have been doing over these past years. There are many, many, many challenges out there facing us. But, as persons with disability, we cannot give up. We have to prepare to face those challenges. And I think we have come a long way. Mr. Moderator, I am telling you, how things were, some 40, 50 years ago, at this present time, we have come a long way. But there is still a lot of work to be done. And, we are calling upon, the business community, individuals, the government, to give us, that support, give us that chance,
And a recognition.
That's right, yes.
Because you're people who would have contributed to society's development. And at various stages of life, okay, you're hearing impaired. You're visually impaired.
Visually impaired, right.
I don't know at what point in your life that took place, but there's some person who would have made contributions when they were,
Yes.
able to do so, and then having something happen to they would have lost their sight, they more or less put on the back burner, put the issues pushed aside, just swept away. Like even some family members want to hide that whole issue with the family.
So
It's a challenge. They don't want to take it on. So as much as possible, they distance themselves from it.
That's
But
right.
there's a discussion that we have to have in the public. I recall some years ago there was a drive because of awareness to install or put wheelchair ramps downtown to give access for persons with challenges to maybe go to a supermarket. The sidewalks.
These are the reasons why we're
Yes,
here.
Yes.
that's right. Yes. Yeah, and, I think Mr. Burgundy is going to touch some more on in terms of accessibility. So as I said, we have come a long way, and we in St. Kitts and Nevis, we have been playing our part in terms of sensitizing people. We have been going to the various schools, both the primary and secondary schools. We've been having radio and television programs. We have been doing so many things. Whatever it takes for us, to sensitize people, that is what we have been doing. And that is why I said, we have come a long way, but there's still a lot of work to be done. But in terms of me, I lost my sight at age 11.
11.
I was a 6th grader, and it was very, very devastating for me. Imagine yourself, 11 years old.
Active.
You're very
school,
active in
all
school,
the
right?
promises.
Yes.
Independent.
Right? And then only to be, brought to this position. But one of the things that I must say here today, family support is very important.
Very important. And
Very important.
And it comes with love
Yes, and I got that
and appreciation.
from my family. My mother, she was a wonderful woman. And she taught my other brothers and sisters, it was 10 of us, and she taught my other brothers and sisters, now, y'all have a brother he cannot see, and I want y'all to pour out your love for him. And, she was not going to be tolerating any one of them, to abuse me and this kind of stuff. You understand? So I must, give kudos to my
mother.
mother. God bless her
And
soul.
the family that
Yes, that's right.
able to give it that
Supported.
support.
Yes.
We do have to pause for a station break at the moment, but when we return, Mr. Bergen, I'll let you pick
Yes.
up the thread of the conversation because this is information that people need to have.
hear. Yes,
Be able
sir.
to understand the challenges and the support that your association needs. So we take it downtown and then we'll be right back.
Thank you so much.
Found the sound 98.9 FM.
Rams is for you and me. Giving back to community. Rams is for you and me. Better for your family. Better service, better price, better value, better choice. Rewarding you for loyalty. Rams is for you and me. Better price and quality. If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind. You're always safe with us.
Enjoy an elevated experience with your Flow Home Internet and mobile combined.
Giving you the best rate for great savings.
With 120 gigs of double data for anything
and unlimited talk.
on 4 mobile lines.
Simply combine your Flow Home Internet and mobile for the best rate and value. Unlock double data and unlimited talk on 4 mobile lines to go with home internet speeds up to 35 megabits per second. Visit a Flow store to sign up today. Conditions apply.
Some people think they'll always be around. Some people think they never will be down.
To our viewers and listeners, welcome back to Voices. We have in the studios today the president and vice president
Yes.
of the St. Nevis Association of Persons with Disabilities. And before the break, did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay, we had before the break Mr. Radcliffe making a presentation. He'll continue briefly before Mr. Bergen takes over. Mr. Radcliffe.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. And one of the things that amazes a lot of people is that, as I said earlier in my presentation, I came from Guyana. I'm Guyanese born. I came.
Tell by the accent.
Yes.
You
right.
don't do that at all.
Yes, in 1992 to take up residency.
Mm-hmm.
And, when people see me walking the streets, it amazes them. They say, well, you didn't born here. How will you get in this work? Because, I can go any part, in Bastille, to transact my business, Yes, there are times when people would assist you, and, I want to say, thanks to all those persons, sometimes when they see myself and my wife on the street, they would come to our assistance. But when I came first, a little boy, he was about 14, between 13 and 14 years old, a little cousin-in-law. He used to take me around because, you see, I'm one of the person, I like to, when challenges is here, I like to face it, right? And I said, you know what? I don't want every time that I have to go in town to the bank or the post office.
Somebody have to be leading you.
Yes. So I said, you know what? Take me in town and teach me couple of the places them. Tell me some of the streets. And he did that. And, I learned from that. And then I taught my wife, because my wife, she's also visually impaired. I taught my wife to
negotiate,
maneuver, through the various streets. And well, Mr. Moderator, I can tell you, she's a better walker than me now.
Thank God for that.
Yeah. So adapting yourself into the new environment, it was kind of hard at first, but I did it, quite nicely. And man, everybody would see me in town, they would see Mr. Boyne, going from National Bank to the credit union to the post office. I'm there.
As they would say, you ain't easy.
I ain't easy at all.
I would have seen you because in coming from Sandy Point, I would see you in, is it Challenges?
Challenges.
That's right,
correct.
yes.
And
Challenges,
I would have
yes.
seen you being, around town.
Yes.
But this is the first time we actually would have had a discussion.
Right.
Hey, Sharon, excuse me, because she said that she doesn't say would have had. She came home to correct me last week, so that was the first time we had a discussion. So yes, Mr. Bergen.
Yes, Mr. Boyne, I want to thank you so very much for that wonderful opening statement and your synopsis. Thank you, Mr. Moderator, for having us.
I'm not Mr. Socrates, what is Mr. Thing? You understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And,
Right.
this is our first public, first public outcoming since the COVID.
COVID? Okay.
Yes, we haven't been doing anything much. Even though we are active at the center, this is the first time we come in on radio. And myself as the president and on behalf of the association, we would like to first congratulate the government present and their support thus far.
Okay.
So, in relation to the SKNAPD, that's our acronym.
Mm-hmm.
For the St. Kitts Nevis Association of Persons with Disabilities,
Yes.
we go by SKNAPD. So when you hear that little acronym, you will know that's us from the association.
Well, I made a remark about disabled and Sister Henry calling to correct. No, Socrates. By the way, second morning to Miss Henry because she's listening.
Good morning. I make sure that she was in tune. I made sure that she was in
Oh, you
tune.
let her know that you'll be on today?
Yes, I sent her some.
When we
some
open the line, she'll definitely make her contribution. Yes.
Excellent. So within the Federation, there are different institutions that provide for people with special needs. Yes. The association, as such, we have the Cotton Thomas Comprehensive School right next to the Dr. Williams primary school there in the village.
Yep.
We have Addie's Place. This is the place on Greenland.
Yes, I've been there.
Yes, and most people don't know about the Cicely Brown Integrated School across in Nevis. This is a school also that provides for people with special needs. And within all these institutions or agencies, whatever you
Interlinked.
refers to them, yes, all of these provide for people with special and basic needs, as you say. And what we do is to, as referring to our mission statement here, it's our effort, it's our duty, it's our responsibility to improve the life, to improve the quality of the life of persons with disabilities through advocacy, education, peer support, and service. Yes, within these different organizations, there are also some elderly homes around the Federation. I don't know of all of them. But if anybody wants to call from their different organization or institution today and give kudos to what we are doing here and the challenges they may have also, they are welcome to do so.
I mean, the hospices?
Huh?
If it was hospices, they call them retirement home, but the actual hospices.
Yes. Also, too, we are very happy that now we are seeing that we have a minister who is in charge of our whose portfolio is
the age people. What was it?
Age and disability.
Yes. Age and disability. That's very important.
We are very happy for that insight.
Yes.
And I hope that as the future progresses, our advocacy pays off. We thank most of what has been done, and we trust and hope that as we go further, it will get better and better, to improve the life of persons with disabilities. We are very happy that the government has taken that initiative, and we must commend them.
And give it a ministry for that.
Yes.
That addresses those concerns.
Yes. Yes. Also, too, is there anything you want?
Can I say something?
Huh?
Can I say something?
Of course, go ahead.
Yeah, I think there's two additional organizations who also cater for persons with disability. The St. Kitts Society for the Blind, of which I'm also the president of that organization, and we also have the Nevis Blind Light and Visually Impaired Society in Nevis. And also, we have other groups like the St. Kitts Diabetic Association,
Yeah,
all these working on behalf of persons with disabilities.
Indeed. And this month itself, too, is a very significant month. A lot of things happening in October, and we have, I think it's the month of the elderly.
October is?
Yes.
Okay.
Right? Am I correct?
Well, you have to tell us, because you're the president. You can ask
That's
it.
age, yes.
Yes,
Age,
yeah, and there is a lot of other little things that going on in the month of October that cater for the elderly and person with disabilities, and I think to some extent cancer are stand to be corrected. Is it?
I don't know if
That's
yes,
right, yes.
it's all. This is the month of cancer. Actually, I was reminded of that by Ms. Petra Maxine Morton, who was here on Wednesday.
Yes.
Yes.
And we discussed a few things that she said. Socrates, people don't realize that this is also the month for people who abuse. And she's the
Yes,
president
yes.
of the, where did I put it a while ago? The
Women's Association.
Silence No More.
Silence
Yes.
no more, right?
And-
yes.
I would assume taking the bus from Sebastien, when you reach that deep curve in Challengers, okay, you're in Challengers.
Yes.
And so it gives you an idea of your location, your geography in relation to your home.
That's right.
Sacro.
That's right.
You see how we said that? One time I could recall challenging him, and he said he knows where every ditch is located.
Yep.
So he count the ditches,
Yes.
and then when he hit that deep bend, I think it's around 1927 they call it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's when he start preparing himself.
So
to-
this is in the road.
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
And I can name just a few for you if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
When that bus when it come around that roundabout there by Rams at camps. From
Yeah.
there on, when you leave Rams going, west,
West.
there's a little ditch there by by the gas station. By Delta.
By Delta, there's this there.
Right?
I drive every day. I don't recall
Yes,
it.
you go down and you come up.
I have to look for it. I drove this morning.
Yes.
I didn't see it.
Yes. And then, McKinley, we know McKinley Heights. When you're going down, you go down that hill here. And then you make a little right and then a left. And then, that's the another hill by Ross University. And then, the West Farm Gut. When I go there, I knows. And then also, by Brantywell School, that hill.
Yep.
And then, from the time we make that turn.
Palmetto Points.
Yes. And then, when you go down into that cut, I start preparing myself. And then when the bus make that left turn into Challengers, I said, there we go.
Okay. We got about 7 minutes before we pause for the midday newscast, and we had a power failure, which we were just about to go to the public to take some calls. We got about 7 minutes. 6620989, 4660989. If you wish to call before we get to the news break, I know Sister Henry is I'm not going to dare to get in, but she wants to get in and make a contribution. So if anyone wants to get a call out to him before we pause for the it's the public. Okay, for those who can hear us, there seemed to be an extensive or more extended power outage. We thought it was just within the Sun complex, but seems that is affecting persons farther afield. For those who can hear us and want to be part of the program, the lines are open, 662-0989, 466-0989, and just before things, okay, quick break. Because we were, okay, quick break and then we come back before we wrap up.
Mobile combined.
Giving you the best rate for great savings.
With 120 gigs of double data for anything.
And unlimited talk.
On 4 mobile lines.
Simply combine your Flow Home Internet and mobile for the best rate and value. Unlock double data and unlimited talk on 4 mobile lines to go with home internet speeds up to 35 megabits per second. Visit a Flow store to sign up today. Conditions apply.
Pump it up with Quicks. One pump and you're pumping. Dish is done, you're smiling. Pump it up with Quicks. Keep pumping. Pump it up some more. Pump it up. Grease is gone for sure. Pump it up. All your dishes fixed. Pump it up. Pump it up with Quicks. I don't want a dirty sink. Keep pumping up with Quicks now. Clean that sink. Pump it up some more. Pump it up. Grease is gone for sure. Pump it up. All your dishes fixed. Pump it up. Pump it up with Quicks. Pump it up.
TDC Financial Services. We're here for you to help you make your dreams come true. Whether your needs are big or small, we'll support you with them all. TDC Financial Services. We are strong. TDC Financial Services. This is where you belong.
TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
With just about 4 minutes to go before we break for the midday newscast, we have with us Mr. Bergen and Mr. Radcliffe, President and Vice Presidents, respectively, of the St. Kitts and Nevis Association for Persons with Disabilities. There was a power failure which may have affected the phone lines or the chance of calling in, but we're here and we're going to continue with our discussion. Hopefully you guys are here until 1:30?
Yes.
Beautiful. So we'll have more to discuss. We really want to engage the public.
Yes.
But in the meantime, we got about 3 minutes. You can share whatever you want to share with us before we come to that midday presentation.
Okay.
Okay, we have a phone call. I'll call you live on Voices. Good morning, caller. You're live on Voices.
Yeah, hi, Safwa. How are you doing?
Okay. I know this voice. Yeah.
I just
Welcome to the
I'm
program.
just calling to commend Navigator, Corporal Joseph Morgan, on the effort that he really makes to get things done despite his challenges. And like he indicated that he is mentally okay and he would accept any mental challenge. I can recall preparing him to those CXC English exams. And you know that he was naturally a right-hander. So he had to start writing with his left hand.
Wow.
The pace at which he would have been able to write the exam would have been way too slow for the time period prescribed. So you get in touch with CXC and facilitate a scriber, somebody who will write on his behalf. And he went through and he got a 2. And that he must be highly commended for that. And I want to encourage other persons who have challenges to pursue what they want to pursue, whether getting a skill or acquiring some knowledge. Even if you want to be tested, there's provisions that can be made for you to sit your exam just like any ordinary person who have full capacity. I just want to encourage them, and I want the general public to know that he would have tried the CXC exam and he got a 2 several years ago, despite not being able to write with his right hand.
That speaks to the mettle of the
Yeah,
man.
go ahead, Safwa.
That speaks to the mettle of the man, but I'm going to have him respond to you directly, Mr. Bergen.
Yes, I must commend my tutor there. Yeah, that was back in 2014. He gave me
Call the name.
Mr. Newish Nittals. You know, me and he go, way back. He have written some calypso for me in the past as well. And he really encouraged me to do the studies. I went through it and
CXC exam.
the CXC exam, and I get a 2-grade pass in English A, I think it was. Yeah.
That's so.
And,
go ahead.
And I'm interested to do some more. I'm looking at some social studies and something else that can fit my repertoire.
You talk to me sooner rather than later. Then.
Yes.
I see you writing a few days ago, but with your left hand. But now I have the story and the reason why. I wasn't even thinking, well, is it left? I wasn't even looking at that. The fact is you were writing.
Yes.
But now we understand from Mr. Natal, due to your injury, you had to switch from being right-handed to left-handed, which affected your ability to function in a timely manner to fit the exam. So they had to give accommodation.
Right.
Of us, is it a scribe you said? Are you there, sir? What was the person I called a scriber?
A scriber, yes.
Scriber. Okay.
You tell the person what to write.
That's important.
Yes.
See, once you have that will, there's always a way. Mr. Natal, I want to thank you for that. I know you've been a friend of him and the family for years.
Yeah, very, very
And it has paid dividends, right?
Okay.
We do have to break at this point for the midday newscast, so I want to thank you for being the first and only caller for the day so far. Due to the power break, we would have had more, but when we return, if you want to come and make another contribution, we would certainly welcome that, okay? Have yourself a blessed one as we now pause for the midday newscast.
You found the sound. 98.9 Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, KDP Enterprises, Carib Brewery, and the ICDF Taiwan Technical Mission.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness, it's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoy the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
Protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Till you walk with a low reputation and service for second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business, property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we got you covered. 130 years in this business, we got you covered. For all your insurance needs, visit or call us at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Dealey Walwyn, people you can trust.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Think before you bin it. There can be some use in it. The St. Kitts and Nevis Solid Waste Management, in collaboration with Taiwan ICDF Technical Mission and the Department of Environment, presents Let's Recycle. We are encouraging all residential homes, commercial businesses, and schools to bring along your plastic bottles, metal cans, and aluminum cans, ready for an opportunity to win big. From 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every second and fourth Tuesday each month at the following locations in St. Kitts: the Connery Roundabout, every first and third Tuesday at Buckley's parking lot in front of Best Buy, and the last Saturday of each month in Deep Bay. In Nevis, every second and fourth Friday of each month at Delta Petroleum, Ex-Petrol in Camps, Big Six in Gingerland, and Old Artisan Village in Charlestown. But wait, that's not all. 1 pound equals 1 point. So bring your recyclables and build up your points for a chance to win stainless steel thermal bottle, flatware set, and much more. To learn more about the recycling project, do visit our Facebook page at Let's Recycle in St. Kitts and Nevis, or contact us at 465-2372. The choice is yours. Save it or waste it. You are the difference. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Bastia in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
With the Win Headline News, I am Kevon Brown.
I am Devon Cornelius.
And I am Yulana Weeks.
Making the headlines.
Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew says there is a need for a Prime Minister's residence.
National Carnival Committee accepting proposals from vendors and service providers.
Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister announces a CIP project with a Nigerian publishing firm to launch Antigua Airways. Internationally, a series of Russian rocket attacks on the southern Ukrainian city of Zaporizhia has killed at least 7 people, local officials have said. Now, the details.
Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, says there is a need for an official residence for any sitting Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. Speaking on Freedom FM's Issues program on Wednesday afternoon, October 5, Dr. Drew explained the importance of having a Prime Minister's residence in the country.
Nonetheless, there is need for a Prime Minister's residence, just like you have one for the Governor General. Because the Prime Minister's residence has multiple functions, apart from where the Prime Minister lives. And the Prime Minister, whoever he or she would be properly secured, is that it has a state function as well.
The Prime Minister's residence can host various activities, including meetings with residents, potential investors, and government officials. At present, Prime Minister Drew occupies an official space at Beacon Heights, which he said comes at no cost to the government.
At Beacon Heights, where I am at as the Prime Minister, with the necessary security measures, and people have to understand that, and I think most people understand that, that belongs to the government. So there's no rent being paid. So there's no cost to the government.
Meanwhile, there have been talks in the public domain suggesting that the Prime Minister built a security hut on his personal property using the government's money. Dr. Drew denied the claims.
When you become the Prime Minister, there are certain security measures you have to put in place. So I built the hut at my home privately. I didn't take any of the government money. I have said that I will not take the government money, and I have not taken the government money. So any type of upgrades or anything to be done, it will be done there on the government's property, not my property.
The St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival Committee invites prospective vendors and service providers to submit proposals to be an approved supplier for Sugar Mass 51. Quotations are requested for services in the following areas: provision of chairs and
£1 equals 1 point. So bring your recyclables and build up your points for a chance to win stainless steel thermal bottles, flatware, and much more. To learn more about the recycling project, do visit our Facebook page at Let's Recycle in St. Kitts and Nevis or contact us at 465-2372. The choice is yours. Save it or waste it. You are the difference. So think smart. Take PAT, reduce, reuse, recycle.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Till you walk with a low reputation and service for second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we got you covered. 130 years in this business, we got you covered. For all your insurance needs, visit or call us at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Delia Walwyn, people you can trust.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Horsford's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less and save more. How, you ask? Essential Everyday and Equiline. Spend less on our Essential Everyday products and get the best quality, the best taste, and the best value. Spend less for all your family health and beauty needs with the Equiline brand of over-the-counter products. Horsford's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less. With our Essential Everyday products and Equiline over-the-counter health and beauty care products. Shop smart and spend less at Value Mart, where price matters most.
Good afternoon and welcome to the second half of Voices. It is the 7th day of October. It's a fantastic Friday.
Indeed.
It's a bit overcast downtown Bastia, but of course I would say no rain, no food. We had a couple of interruptions this morning in terms of power, and so we would have lost that opportunity for callers to weigh in on the program. We have with us in studio today Mr. Joseph Bergen, he's the president of the St. Kitts and Nevis Association of Persons with Disability, and his partner in crime, the vice president, Mr.
I love that.
Okay. And we had a wonderful morning discussing so many things. Mr. Radcliffe is visually challenged, and he was sharing with us his journey. He's lost his sight since he was 11 years old, so he grew up with that, living in St. Kitts, the experiences he's had, and what they're doing as an association to reach out and help persons with disabilities, the support mechanism they would have benefited from, and their outreach. I learned from him that on the 16th of this month, is it?
Yeah.
Maybe the White Cane Day.
World White Cane Day.
World White Cane Day. That is to sensitize the public of persons. When you say with white cane, hey, they're visually challenged. You need to slow down in traffic, give them easy access, and encourage, assist the best you can. There's no normal coming off a vehicle to help somebody who's challenged physically or otherwise. It speaks to our humanity. So the phone lines are now open for those who wish to engage us in conversation with suggestions, recommendations, speak to Mr. Bergen, Mr. Bowen. The phone lines are now open. In the meantime, I just want to remind folks about the taxi drivers of the meeting that's due on Tuesday the 9th down at Port Zante. And for Ms. Petra Morton, she wanted me to tell folks that the breakfast symposium for the Silence No More Association has been postponed until the 17th. Gentlemen, the phone lines are open. Easy flow conversation. Anything you want to talk about?
Okay, while we're waiting for calls, these are just a few statements and questions that I got from some of the folks who are listening.
I don't know if it's my headphone, but your voice has dropped. You have a good voice, so bring it up.
Yes.
That's better.
While we are waiting for the phone calls, these are just a few questions and statements I would have gotten from some of the association members who are listening, which speak to ramps and accessibility towards building, the
establishments, supermarkets,
yes,
banking, etc., etc.
Yes, and folks are still having challenge
with access
and accessibility to get into these business places. We have. It is surprising that we have an economy that boasts tourism, and we still having these challenges. Basically, most of the places around town should be, easily accessible, that anybody of any condition should be able to go in and enjoy whatever amenities there is to be enjoyed. But, like you go downtown to maybe go to a doctor's office, it's upstairs, and you're a person with disability. Okay. You want to go and talk to a lawyer, it's upstairs, and you're a person with disability. On many occasions, I would hear, sometimes the challenges that is faced by that, like maybe the doctor or the lawyer have to come down and provide a space downstairs for you to...
That's a serious
challenge. Yes. Come down, maybe even out in the street and on a few occasions, and they deal with you because there's no accessibility to an upstairs.
There's another aspect of which I began addressing some time ago. Parking.
Yes, this is one I have here too.
Okay.
Right. So this member is speaking specifically to the blue areas that are marked with the wheelchair. Able-bodied persons are parking inside of them. Okay. So when the person come, the closest place to go to the business
Double
place,
parking?
Yeah, they are there, and maybe they go and leave the car, and the person with the different challenge or different ability, they have to suffer or endure a long walk, maybe by going around trying to find the perfect parking when they could have just parked there.
And with the amount of yellow lines around town, that's a long walk for me.
Exactly.
Imagine somebody let's take Mr. Smith from Sandy Point, because he's coming down to the business. He has to walk with somebody to drive his vehicle around, because if he needs to get to, say, an establishment on 4th Street, can't park, right?
Yes.
Yellow lines that have to drive around until that's a major issue.
Yes. So
we're speaking about it. So the powers that be need to look at those challenges for persons with disabilities.
Yes. So we are asking
challenge physically.
We're asking motorists to just be considerate with.
We go to the phone lines. Caller, your live on voices. Okay, we would have lost our caller, so please give it a chance. Call back, and let's see what's in your mind.
So we're just asking motorists, vehicle operators of any sort, to pay honors to these areas, so that persons who are differently abled can access them and around town and make their business much more easier.
To the phone lines, caller, you're live on voices. Good, the caller, are you there? Hello there. Caller, you're live on voices. Hello there. We seem to be having a challenge with that caller trying to get in on the program, so maybe they're hearing us and we're not hearing them. Maybe the power outage that we we had a while ago has affected the phone lines, but we will ask you to try till you get in because we would love to hear from you. In the meantime, Mr. Bergen,
we would have spoken earlier about inconsiderate drivers and the traffic.
Let's go back to phone line one more time. Caller, live on Voices. Caller, are you there? Seem to be challenges. Sorry, caller, we're trying to get you connected, but there seemed to be a technical issue. I would think Mr. Man with the hairstyle like mine would be. Anyway, go ahead, Mr. Bergen.
So, yeah, we were speaking about inconsiderate drivers earlier, somewhere along our introduction.
Yes.
And this speak specifically also to, well, not all, but a few of the omnibuses areas. We have a few of our members which are down in the country. Some may use like trays or walkers, and they're having a hard time getting up. Some bus drivers may just pass them.
Okay.
And yeah, so these are some of the things that we are speaking of or bringing to the light this morning and some of the challenges.
So they're trying to get
that
transport to come to the city.
Yes.
The bus drivers in their haste, going back and forth, picking up, they are not likely to stop for such a passenger.
Persons with a tray
wheelchair, something like that.
or a frame or something of that nature.
What other options do they have?
What other options do they
Those
have?
persons have. Now, there's a bus that assists people around the Bastille area.
Yes.
These folks down in the rural areas, what other options do they have? If the buses don't stop for them, the passenger buses, what options do they have? Do you know?
A next one.
Another bus?
Yes,
Yeah.
they have to wait until
Another bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I'm saying, generally, they're not assisting you.
Yes.
So is there some mechanism that there's a vehicle that assists people around town? Is there an option to appeal to the government to assist you with one? Social services that department that deal with the age. A lot of folks who have these challenges are age.
Not from this point.
Mhm.
But I'm speaking specifically to how
True.
it affect our association. We have a bus personally with a chairlift in the back that picks up people
Around the Bastille area.
Around the Bastille area.
That is what I asked in
far
terms
as
of
St.
options.
Peters.
There's nothing that addresses those in the rural areas.
No.
Okay.
Because if you miss that bus in the morning, you have to wait to another, maybe one who is a little more sensitive.
And if you're going
towards
for
your
doctor's
situation.
appointment, you got a major problem.
Yes.
So
Yes,
it
so we-
means that second vehicle that addresses folks who are in the rural areas who need to get to a doctor's appointment at a certain time.
Yes.
We need that.
Mhm.
So fundraising galore, we need that.
Yes.
It's a need, not a want.
Yes.
Okay, we are having some problem with the phone lines, but we take what call we can get. In the meantime, Mr. Bergen, continue.
So we are just asking to the drivers we are just appealing to the drivers to be a little more sensitive with the folks, especially at mornings when they are coming from the rural areas to get into.
We know at morning time they are more concerned with their passengers
Yes.
who want to come up to work.
Yes, that's
for
it.
the 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock
Yes.
starting time. So that's a challenge.
Very big one.
Okay.
And if I may,
Please.
I just want to, in terms of the west
line,
with the West Line bus drivers, they are very, 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 very supportive. I don't have much of a problem.
They know you by now.
Yes.
They've seen you up there.
Yeah.
And they figure you ain't blind.
Right. Yeah. So I just, like Whaler, Brody,
Mhm.
and, many other, the West Line drivers.
Question:
they are
how
very,
old is
very-
Whaler? How old is Brody? They're in the 50s.
Yes, that's right.
50s, 60s, thereabouts. So they're more understanding.
Yes.
And there are people who will drive on these two drivers' buses because they're not in the speeding thing. They're not on the racetrack.
Yeah.
They're more courteous. They drive at, I would say, the speed limit at times. Maybe they might, but people feel more confident driving with them. So the Whalers and the Bodies and those guys who are on the road will be more amenable to assisting you. The younger drivers, they're on the hop on, hop off, full speed. They're not going to stop for you.
Well, yeah. Well, I just want to appeal to the younger drivers, I just want them to exercise some more tolerance, okay? Because in this world we don't know when it's going to be our day. You understand? So just be a little bit more tolerant, because you may have family members, who have different types of disability, So just assist our members, when you see them on the road and they're trying to get into town or back to the country area, just be a little bit more tolerant. That's my appeal to the younger drivers.
Wow. See, some of the things we just take for granted.
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
So those were concerns raised by some of your members.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. We want to speak to within the region. We have our Association of Persons with Disabilities. Antigua have, St. Lucia have, as far as down to Trinidad and Tobago, and we fall under the ambit of the DPI. DPI is Disabled People International, and the regional bodies are sister organization. Makes up DPI, and we would do networking from time to time. We would share information as to what's happening, development in the life of persons with disabilities. So there is constant update and information being shared across the region in respect to persons with disabilities.
The networking is good.
Yes.
All right, and we can actually, in that way, assist each other.
Yes.
They have a program working there that can benefit folks here, so that's a great thing.
Yes.
I'm getting quite an education, because I would have asked Mr. Bowen on the road many times, and there are others who I think they're waiting for specific drivers, But next time I know. Next time, I don't know. If I see you, definitely I'll stop for you. I have no problem.
Right.
I have no problem. Mr. Burger. Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead.
Yeah, also, I want to appeal to the general public. I think I alluded to it earlier. Sometimes, when, we are in town transacting our business, some people feel that, we don't have the right to be in town. They would say all manner of things. We just want them to know that, the same way they have the right to use, the sidewalk, the roads, the different streets and so, we have the same rights. And instead of verbally abusing persons with disability, you can assist them. There are many persons who I would come into contact with, who would assist me. Sometimes, they say, well, Mr. Boyen, where are you going? I say, I'm going in Rams. They would take me there. And I just want to appeal to some more folks, to give that, to exercise that kindness.
Courtesy.
Yes, that courtesy to persons with disability. Because as I said just now, you don't know when, it's gonna, fall on you or even family members. And the sidewalks, another challenge we have with the sidewalks, well I must say me and myself and other blind persons, is some of these lampposts that they have in the middle of the sidewalks. From time to time,
You bump into them?
yes, I would kiss them. And that is not the type of kiss you want. So I don't know what Skellig and Public Works, I don't know what they can do to try to rectify this.
Okay, we understand the lines are compromised, so we'll continue to share what information. That's a very interesting point about the utility poles being placed where they are. They've been there for some time.
Yes.
I don't see, well, that was the thinking back then, just put them there.
Yes.
I don't see any immediate remedy when it comes to that. So as you know your way around town, you have a pretty good idea where they are. But that's you based on your experience. But for the average person who don't know, is what the kissing game?
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the reality.
Yeah. So that is something that we would like. As I said, well, I don't think that is a short term thing can happen, but it's not nice at all. And again, where accessibility comes, And I just want also to appeal to some of the other business places, you know, if they can just put a little ramp, because, you know, most of the stores, you know, in Bastille, you have to go up some stairs, and then, you know, to get into the building is also probably, you know, somebody with a wheelchair or a walker. You know, I just want to appeal to the management of those
establishments.
Establishment, you know, to, you know, if they can try and do something to assist persons with disability, because it's not easy.
I can see there are a couple of banks downtown Bastille because of where they're located, and it's going to be difficult to implement ramps based on where they're located. I think you have a pretty good idea what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, they're difficult, but they in planning going forward, any modern building that's being contemplated throughout the city should have
Must
that,
be accessible.
Yes, right. But share with us a very interesting story about your experience when you go to the banks, how you put your notes in your wallet, and when you go to shop, people are surprised. How do you know this is so and so and so and so?
Yeah, well, before the Palmer notes came, what is was it 2020?
Thereabouts, yes.
Anyway, before that, but you know the notes, you know, there was no sign, you know, to, you know, tell a blind person, well, if this is 100 or 50 or 20 or 10 or a 5.
Mm-hmm.
But I had my own little techniques, and many other blind
I did a system.
Yeah, right. Like if I go in the bank and I said, you know, I want to withdraw $200, I would tell them, you know, I said, give me 2 50s, 3 20s, 2 10s, and 2 5s. So what I'll do now, I would put the 2 50s, and then the 3 20s, I would put it on top of the 2 50s. And then I would take the 2 10s and put them on top of the 3 20s. And then I will take the 2 5s and put it on the 10. So now, if I come, you know, and, you know, I said, you know, Socrates, you know, I'm hiring your bus to take me, you know, you said, yeah, well, Mr. Boyne, it's $15.
Mm-hmm.
I would just open up, I'll pull out the 5. No, okay, let us say you said it's $25, Mr. Boyne, $25. I would pull out the 5, and then I would skip through the other 5, skip through the 2 10s, and then head to the 20.
I'm still laughing.
You know,
the man have a system in place so he knows
Yes.
where
Yes,
the various
right.
denominations are placed in his wallet.
So when you do that now,
I just see you doing it.
Yeah, people say,
how he say blind?
Oh, I say he blind. You know, oh, I say he blind. I ain't gonna fool me. But you see, what we want people to understand is that, you know, when you lose one sense,
the others are heightened.
That's right. That is when they kick in, and you know, and you as blind people also, we have to be creative. You understand?
Speaking
the way we go
about
about
that,
doing things, you understand?
yes.
That would assist us to make things easier for us.
Speaking about that,
yes, and that is what a lot of people don't really understand.
between you and your wife, who's also visually challenged, who's the better chef or cook?
Oh, I am the one.
You sure?
Yes. She fries good fish, man.
She fries good fish.
Yes. But
She's
sighted people would come by us.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, sometimes they would joke, you know, I tell you, if I no fish, I could eat a piece of fish now. You know, because, you know, she's very good in frying fish. But I just love the stove, Socrates. I love the stove. And I love to experiment also.
So she's fish, you're Johnny Cake.
I fry the Johnny Cake.
You fry the Johnny Cake.
Yeah. There are times when I would make roti, but you know, I don't really trouble the roti too much.
Okay, well that
You
flour
know, when you gotta
fingers-
clap it, you know, the burning of the hands. You know, it's very challenging. You know.
So it's not only that you know your way around the kitchen, but the measures of the various ingredients that you put in and what you're preparing.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. When I'm cooking, you know, like if when I go to start do up my seasoning, if I'm making my little gravy stew, I would light the stove. I would put on the doing pot, and then some people they would ask me, well, how you know when the doing pot dry out to throw in the sweet oil. Because if you throw in the sweet oil, and a little water in it, it's going to spill
Jam's
up.
taking some lessons in culinary.
Yes. So I would put it on, and I would leave it there for like a minute or a minute and a half. And then to make sure, I would, lean a little bit towards the pot to air fire and, any if I don't hear any, I said, okay, I'm good to go now.
dry out.
All the water dry out. And then I would pour my, sweet oil. And then, I throw in my, onion, garlic, sweet pepper, etc. And, I'm on my way.
So you have not backed yourself in a corner with self-pity saying, well, I am blind and I need this and nobody helping me. You make sure that you are mentally, you're there, you help yourself.
Right, that's right.
And that's the
Yes.
thing.
Uh-huh.
That's the thing about becoming disabled, because
it challenges
if-
you.
if-
You have a
if-
choice.
Yes, if you are born with an
impediment.
an impediment, based on what you would have grown and what you have learned to work around, you may develop a system for yourself. That's easier for you. It's much better to understand, to develop, to adjust, and move on. Because you think, even though you may just look at it and say, well, you would like to be more able to do much for yourself, but you're not pitying yourself. It's easier for you to accept. Unlike myself, when I became disabled, I was like 1 week from my 30th birthday. And this one day would have changed my entire life for the last 18 years. Now, this December going to make 18 years.
18 years.
Yeah, and I must thank God today that I'm here still.
It's quite a journey.
Yes, because the first thing you have to do sometime when you become disabled at that age is to accept. When you find the strength in yourself to accept, you adjust.
But you're still hopeful.
Yes, and from adjusting yourself, you're able to move on from there. But I would like, pardon, you want to say
No, go
something?
ahead. I'm going to go downtown with Prestige's Junior.
I would really like to commend the places in town that would have really make
Stepped
that
up.
adjustment
The accommodations
yes,
to accommodate person with challenges.
with challenges.
That's
And,
right.
I would like to recommend, I would like to appeal to general public, if you are constructing a new building of any sort, think about accessibility and persons with
I would
challenges.
hope that the building board would not give access, or get, not the word, authorize the building of any commercial building today without those accommodation for person with challenges.
Right.
We're going to go downtown now, give Caesar his due, and be right back.
Thank you.
We're different. We're 98.9.
98.9.
Win FM.
Don't stop, won't stop, can't stop the never-ending cashback at Horsewoods. Yes, it's that time of the year. Double cashback coupon season is here. The season when Horsewoods Furniture and Appliances gives away millions in free groceries with every FlexPay purchase and a chance to win 1 year in free groceries with a
For
never-ending
access.
double cashback.
Yes,
The
yes,
Horsewoods never-ending double cashback is back for even more free groceries. This is double cashback coupon season, so come today and get double cashback coupons for absolutely free groceries in the never-ending double cashback
Shall I
promotion.
say
Yes,
that?
happening
Jam
now.
sausage,
Get
say
double
that?
cashback coupons for absolutely free groceries with every higher purchase. The never-ending double cashback is back at Horsewoods Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store, where you get double cashback coupons for free groceries with every FlexPay purchase. Don't stop, won't stop, can't stop the never-ending savings, never-ending discounts, never-ending quality and service, and the never-ending double cashback for this double cashback coupon season. Don't miss it. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
Saying good afternoon to Amber Lewis over there in Anguilla. She's listening and she was asking how come she's not seeing me on the monitor. So maybe Jam's to turn it off, but that's a different story. Mr. Bergen, you, in order to get here this morning, I mean on the second floor, you had to be assisted by one of your colleagues in the from the Defense Force.
Yes.
You were a soldier at the rank of corporal. When doing a robbery attempt, you were actually shot.
Yes.
You said some 18 years ago. And that left you to a very large extent paralyzed. You've had surgery. You traveled to the U.S., to Cuba, etc., and trying to remedy your situation. It has not worked out the way we would wish, but it hasn't stopped you in many, many ways. But the experience that you had this morning in climbing those stairs, Jamster just said that maybe the government should look at giving person with 2- and 3-story building duty-free concessions.
Yes.
I think
to
so.
Install elevators in those buildings,
Yes.
because if you had to climb 3 flights of stairs this morning, there was only one, and you had to be assisted.
Yes.
And you have mentioned before, when you have to go to some places, your colleagues in the army come out and assist you. So that's we're grateful for that.
Yes.
Right, we're grateful for that.
Yeah.
But that idea that Jamster just forwarded is not a bad. When I was saying about it's a smart idea.
It's very good. And if I can add to that, in 2018, pardon me, in 2018 we would have one of the last DPI conference we might have had here.
DPI meaning what?
In disabled people, the international.
Disabled people international.
Disabled people international.
Yeah.
So we would have that in July of August of 2018.
Yes.
And we would have seen from that DPI meeting, I think Minister Hamilton was the person who in charge of gender affairs.
Human development. Yeah.
Yes, human development. We would have seen the ratification of the person with the right of disabilities came out of that meeting. We were further waiting for it to be, legislated,
etc.
Yes, and we would have seen also too, and high commendation to that, government headquarters would have gotten a ramp.
Yeah. I've seen that.
After that, not a ramp, a lift, a power lift to get people from the first to the second to the third floor.
Mm-hmm.
That was implemented.
I was on the way of that.
Yeah, from in government headquarters. We went there. They had a little ceremony, and we went up the ramp, the lift.
The lift, yes.
Yes, and we went to the floor. By I think is one of the rooms there, and the minister spoke to us. Yeah, so.
We want to speak to our call. Okay. We want to speak to our callers. We aware that there are many persons trying to get in on the program, but there was a power outage a bit earlier. It has affected the phone line, so we sincerely apologize. We would love to have your interaction with this very, very important discussion, but we apologize. We can see the engineer taking the phone lines, but both lines are very static at the moment. All 3 lines are statically at the moment, so we are unable to entertain the calls. We apologize to you so very much for that. But of course, we'll share what we can. Perhaps at a future point in time, we'll come back and have this because it's so very important.
Yes,
I'm learning so much. And so it must be the same for other people out there. The sensitivity. Did I say it right?
Sensitivity.
The
sensitivity?
Sensitivity. I'm being funny.
Okay.
That the public needs and the interest shown by the call they're trying to make is so very, very crucial and timely.
Right.
So, you gentlemen.
You want to go, Rackley?
Yeah. If coming back to the capabilities, right? One thing I want to also I want to appeal to the business community. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, one thing I want to appeal to the business community. We have a lot of persons out there with disabilities who are capable of working. What we are saying, just give us the opportunity. We know that we wouldn't be able to serve in, every area, but there are certain areas we can serve, because it's like a stigma, Some people feel, well, because you have a disability, you're not able to work, and we have shown over the years that we can, because Mr. Bergen, he's still active in the Defense Force. I myself, I work at Lutheran for 23 years. My wife, who is also blind, she gave 27 years of service to the government. She was working at the government daycare center. So I want to appeal to the business community. At least if you can employ about 2 persons with disability, it would do your establishment good. At the same time, you're helping out a family, you're putting food on the table. You understand? Because in the Caribbean also, we have persons who have made contribution despite their disability. I have two friends who work at a radio station in Guyana. Her name is Julie Leo. She's totally blind, and she's a journalist at the radio station, Voice of Guyana. And there's also this guy, Leroy Phillips. He also worked there, and he's totally blind. We have persons in wheelchair who works at various companies in the Caribbean. Even politics. I can recall you have the Honorable Floyd Morris, who is a senator in the Jamaica House. We have Kerry Ann Highfield from Barbados. She's totally blind. She served as Speaker of the Barbados House of Assembly. And, at one time she was President of the Senate. So, and, the list go on and on and on. In the United Kingdom, we had David Blunkett, who served as, Minister of Education, and he was blind. And then we go to Ecuador, you have this guy, I don't remember his name, he's in a wheelchair. And he was the Vice President of Ecuador. So we have people who, despite our disability, we can still serve. We can still serve. If you go in both houses in the United States, the Senate and Congress, there are a lot of people there who have disabilities, who are in wheelchairs.
Duckworth, she's one.
That's right. Yes,
yeah,
that name rings a bell. Yes, mm-hmm. She got her legs blown off in Afghanistan while serving. Mm-hmm. So, give us the opportunity. You give us a tool, and we're gonna perform. We just want that that little opportunity. Don't sideline us. Don't marginalize us. We can still make meaningful contribution despite our disability. Because even down at the McKnight Center, I think Mr. Bergen, he spoke earlier, the 2 open days we had. We made a lot of things. We have a program there, run by STEP, and we would like to say thanks to the government for continuing that program. Where we have our members, we involve in graphic design, we have computer training. We also make jewelry from beads, these scrap mats, I make scrap mats, I made jewelry from beads. We also have a pottery program there, and I just want to say thanks to those persons who came in and volunteered their service, to help us as persons with disability. Like people like Miss Carla Hastafan, Miss Sharon Balboza, I hope I'm pronouncing her surname correctly. Mr. Agard, Mrs. Phillips, Reverend Isaiah Phillips' wife, she came in there, she taught us Braille, and, we have different people who would come from time to time and volunteer, their service to help us as persons with disability. We have a wonderful program going on at the McKnight Community Center.
And what Mr. Bowen actually is referring to is basically outline our mission, our vision statement, which is one society where persons with disabilities are allowed to, maximize their ability in any capacity, yes, and make meaningful contribution to society.
That's right.
And have the same equal opportunity. So. Yeah.
Speaking about contribution, I just had one from Chris Collins up there in the UK, and he writes, our people needs a serious culture shift. Too often we write off people with disabilities,
yes, right,
in their outer world. People with disabilities are active in these places. He's speaking about, like in the UK.
Yes.
Mr. Barcliffe mentioned a few persons in other parts of the world. So what he's saying that here within SKN, we need to, I would say, be more sensitive, but
yes,
as it terms it, a culture shift.
Remove the stigma. Right.
Yes, that's right. So that we can participate, more. Give us the opportunity. And Sakuti, I am not saying because of giving somebody a chance that you pick up any and anybody and put them in various positions. once they have the qualification, you understand, and the requirement, give them that opportunity.
I know of a young man. I've known him since he was 4 years old. Roughly about 3 years old, roughly. And he is slight Down syndrome. I don't know the right terminology. He's not full. Okay. But he's employed now. He used to be at his place in Greenlands.
Yes.
He's now employed at the craft house. They do stuff up there at the craft house.
Oh, yes.
Who that
yes.
is?
Huh?
Who that is, Ratcliffe? You know who he's speaking of?
Deshaun Walker.
Pardon me?
His name is Deshaun Walker.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with him, but
Okay.
I heard about the young man who
He's
is
up
employed at the craft. And also we have this girl, Belisha Clark.
Another one.
Clark, I think Clark is her surname.
But Deshaun, his checks go straight to his account.
Yes, right.
And his mom is there, of course.
That's
good. But he's being self-sufficient. He goes to work, and his money is being saved. That's somebody looking out for you at a young age.
Wonderful. That's right, yes.
So, I mean, like, everything you see me, I mean, the first thing these folks do to you is give you a hug.
Okay.
They're going to hug you up and say, he loves to eat. I say, what you want to buy there? KFC.
Yes.
Sorry, Bob. I was saying now about but Phyllis, she's employed with the Ministry of Social Development.
Development.
Yeah, and we want to say thanks to the government
for the outreach.
Brother, before you come in, I just want to take this opportunity to say thanks to the government of St. Kitts and Nevis. With this STEP program. They assisted us, with the bus that we have, and they have been, it came down from the previous Labour administration, Dr. Douglas, Dr. Harris, and this present administration. They just took office, and they are following what the rest as
being proactive.
That's right. So I want to commend the government. Much more can be done. But at least, we are seeing something, and we want to encourage them to do more. So I must, give kudos to the government of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. I was making a joke yesterday at a particular meeting where I said, which was actually Samuel, is it Duggins?
Yes.
Was he offered, I think, was $500 for anyone under 16, any artist. Towards studio recording, and say, what happened to the old people? Like, but there is a ministry now that addresses what's it called?
Age and disability.
Age and disability.
And we must say high commendation for
definitely
that vision.
Yes.
Because too often we are sidelined after we get a certain age, and there are challenges because I've had people who are caregivers for people who are challenged, maybe they have Alzheimer's, etc., and the question was asked, who assists?
Yes.
Who cares for the caregivers?
Right.
So it's a challenge. So that ministry that we are referencing is very, very important, vitally important. You are recognizing the various demographics of society. Those who make a contribution, those who challenge, and you're reaching out to everybody.
Yes,
that has to be highly commended.
Yes,
and they have the right person there.
Yes.
In Dr. Hanley.
Dr. Hanley.
I know he's going to do a wonderful job.
You know what, Dr. Jeffrey Hanley?
That's right, yes. The Deputy Prime Minister.
That portfolio fall under his ministry.
Yes.
Quickly, how many doctors we have in government?
Dr. Douglas, Dr. Jude, Dr. Hanley.
Dr. Clark.
Dr.
I think
Joel
it's
Clark.
4.
Mm-hmm.
About that.
Yes, about 4.
And we have Dr. Mark Bradley.
Dr. Mark Bradley.
He's just got his doctorate.
Yes, recently.
You can't leave him out, you know.
Yes.
He got his?
Yes.
Johnson started talking about Dr. Mark Bradley just got his doctorate. Honorable.
Yes.
Honorable, but at least he have that distinction. So yes, it's a beautiful thing. We out there. We are, and I think a nation is, I'm forgetting the terminology, but by the way you treat your people.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They're measured by the way they treat the people, and I think we are in the right direction. Sometimes the functionaries who charge with carrying out certain policies sometimes square pegs in one hole, and they don't carry their duties as they ought. But the fact that the policies have been recognized as needed to assist folks. Mr. Bergen.
Yes. As the year
progresses,
our wind down, as we said, one of our next activities is expected to be held is our week of activities, and this normally take place from the last week in November to the first week in December, knowing that the 3rd of December is the actual day of the International Day of the Person with Disabilities.
3rd of December?
The 3rd of December. We commemorate that day by holding a week of activities.
Which coincides with, culminates on that day?
On that day,
Yes.
Yeah. And sometime for the past couple of years, we haven't
was
been doing
sidelined
anything
because
for
of COVID?
The COVID,
Right.
yeah, but we want to get right back into groove, and that is one of our hallmark fundraisers as an NGO, and that sometimes we did how much time we did the banquet? About twice.
Yes, twice.
Did you sing at the banquet?
No.
You must have entertainment. You're a big Calypsonian. What's going on with you?
That could be taken into consideration. Yeah.
Listen, you have so many persons in those cities with talent.
Yes.
Put on a talent.
I
You have anything to let them come up and sing and do poetry.
We
the whole
had
creative
a
process.
Queen show one year too. Yeah, a little talent show amongst ourselves, and it was well supported from the general public.
I would like to see a cooking competition. Way back in, right?
That's a plus.
I want my Johnny cake, so way back in. You got a caller in? Okay, let's see if we can entertain this call. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Good day. My name is Anthony Mills. I'm one of the former presidents of the association, and I just wanted to call in and to, kind of lend my support to what Mr. Boyan and Mr. Bergen is doing in spreading the word about people with disabilities, and to kind of put something out there. I'm part of a committee that is currently looking to do a national survey on people with disabilities, and I want to encourage the general public to, when somebody comes to your door asking about disability, to answer the questions, because one of the reasons why we as an organization fought for this survey to be done is because the data collected would be able to inform policies and laws that the government is trying to put into place, and that we are fighting for. Because if NEMA know all the people with the disabilities are during emergency and the different types of disabilities that they have, then the support can be tailored so that people would be more effectively helped. And so I'm want to appeal to people that when you see somebody show up at your door and asking about maybe how much the people with disability live in the household, or how much, or what the different type of disability are, don't look at it as somebody looking your nose, but look at it as a way to help people with disabilities to overcome a lot of the stigma and discrimination that both gentlemen spoke about on the air. So, because there's a lot that, and earlier I think as Mr. Boyan talked about the poles in the middle of the sidewalk, I would like to attest to that as a person who uses a wheelchair, and not all of them are poles that were there for a long time. Some of the new lights that was put in on 4th Street especially, those new poles were put down in such a position that it makes it difficult for even a wheelchair to squeeze past some of them.
In the circus, for example.
Yes, in the circus, for example. So those are things that we need to look at and see how we can change them. Just things going on that we as an organization is involved with the traffic department to try to get those parking spots and put policies in place where they now could fine people and give them a fine to pay. So to try to deter people from parking in those parking spots. And we need the general public to work along with the organizations of persons with disabilities and the government to bring about these changes, because if you don't, then people with disabilities get left further and further behind, because every time you build a building and you don't put the necessary access into it, then there's a whole segment of the population that gets shut out of, whether it's a store, supermarket, whether it's a church, whether it's a government building, you know. So when you see the survey starts, which it should start hopefully by the end of this month, please, I'm asking the general public to please supply the data, because the data helps us as an organization, helps the government, it helps the private
Inform the decision-making process.
Yeah, to know that there's X amount of people with disabilities in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. There's so much blind persons, there's so much people with wheelchairs and different disabilities, and this is where they live, you know. So we can now begin to implement the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities and get the necessary laws in place in all this lot of discrimination. I just thought I would call and lend some support.
Thank you, sir.
Wonderful.
Well, that's the best call we've had. It's the only call, because the phone lines has been, well, the first call was from Mr. Notion Chal, very important, but this is so very instrumental to our discussion we're having. Gentlemen, please respond.
Well, Mr. Mills is so right, because as a part of our mission statement, advocacy is a very strong word, which is grafted into the explanation. And these are things that we have been talking about over the years. We have seen very little changes. We must make commendation to what was done, but there is so much more to be done.
Let's see if we can get this call. 662. Oh, sorry. Caller, you're live on Voices. Good day, caller. You're live on Voices. I think the cell phone lines you say are working, maybe not the landline. So that's a 662-0989. Caller, are you there? Okay, we can. Okay, good day, caller. You're live on Voices. Just miss it. Good day, caller. You're live on Voices.
Pleasant day, Sacro. How are you doing today?
Not bad at all. Welcome to the program. Good to hear your voice.
Good, Mr. Bergen and the other gentleman as
For the Sunday point, he just wanted to know, right?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes. So, on some of the topics that you guys are speaking on, of which they're looking for relief on, one of the things I think would happen, I know they have one for the city already, but I think it would be a good idea for the government to purchase a bus for seniors and disabled, and issue cards for them, and that way you have this bus that would go all around the island. Because really and truly, and you could understand why the regular passenger buses will hesitate, because to wait for a disabled person to get on your bus maybe for 15, 20 minutes, that's a lot of time and fear that they will be losing.
Quite so.
So, you know, and so you could totally understand that. So I think it's incumbent on the authorities to provide
that service,
the transportation for for seniors and disabled persons. Also, one of the other things, I don't want them to be stuck too much on just ramps alone and maybe even elevators, because it's not every building will be able to accommodate an elevator.
Yes,
but
sir.
Every building with a staircase can accommodate stair lifts. They have stair lifts. They run anywhere from about $1,800 or so. That it could be installed, and it's a chair that sits on a rail base. The old style used to be the ones that goes on the railing itself, but they have some now that it's installed on the bottom on the steps as they go up itself, and the chair sits on them, and it's actually foldable as well.
There's one at Mapao.
Right.
Yes, yes, there's
So-
one there. Yeah.
So those are more. Believe it or not, for the upstairs places, the lifts are more realistic than elevators.
Makes sense.
Thank you, sir.
You know, you're most welcome. Have a great
Yes, yes, Richie.
Gentlemen.
You gonna?
Mr. Bowen, I want to continue.
Yes, but I think it's a wonderful suggestion with the last caller. You know, he alluded to. So these are some of the things that we the authorities can start looking at. You know, I think it's and he is so right in terms of the ordinary passenger buses, because I think this has been the problem. Because the time that somebody with a disability would take to go on the bus, you understand. They're talking about,
And in most cases, the drivers are driving for someone else.
Yeah, that's
so they
right.
have to make a
yes.
certain quota
for themselves, yes.
and they're hustling to get ahead of the next driver, so they're not inclined to stop. The
Right.
point Mr. Richie Bunton, Calypsonian, big man from Sandy Point, is making, that perhaps your petition could be made to the government to get some funding from the SIDF program to buy that bus. It's all about social development. It's about people investment. And that I know with all the fundraising that you guys are undertaking, you may not be in any position to afford such a vehicle.
Oh, no.
And so if we can get the government, we're not really everybody depending on the government for everything. You guys are trying what you can. But if we can invest in a vehicle and employ a driver that's dedicated to addressing the needs of those folks who are challenged in the rural area, that is social development. That's something that they would not, I don't think they would hesitate in undertaking. So maybe the appeal can be made to them directly to address that specific need. What do you think?
Sounds very good to me.
Yes.
Well, you got to sound good to them. I mean, if it sounds good to you, are you going to take that forward?
The one that is going around town, it actually came from the SIDF.
Yes.
So
And
therefore,
it is designed like that.
right? And if the same thing prevails on the sister island of Nevis, that too shall be accommodated. We
Excellent.
invest.
Excellent.
And so it's something that you guys need to put in writing as a proposal
Yes.
to the relevant authorities. It's a need. It's a need. Let's see if we get anyone from a call from the public. We got a few minutes to go. We got about 7 minutes. Caller, are you there?
Hello?
Yes, you're live on Voices.
Yeah, me again. I wanted to add to the point that I make about the bus as well. This bus actually, what they do is, instead of having it running randomly, it is on a everyday prescribed schedule.
Yes.
It
Yes.
goes straight to the whole island.
Right.
So the customer, they can rely on coming out at a specific time, and
yes.
within a 10, 15 minutes time, and once they're out, the bus is going to come by.
Right.
You know, and the schedule will be designed with stops already in mind. You know.
Example, if they know ahead, well, this person had a doctor's appointment for a specific time, that will be taken into the program of picking up.
Right. And also, somebody could also, for them, could design an app, actually, that could, so for the ones who can see,
Make
the
and
app
book.
could actually tell them where the bus is and at what time it will reach them.
Make and book
If-
appointments.
If by any chance it's delayed. You know?
Yes.
For some reason the bus is delayed because maybe one customer took a little longer to get on the bus.
In the meantime, a little telephone call with them.
Yes.
We don't want to get too technical to soon, but a little telephone call, hey, we'll be 5-10 minutes late at least. They can call the doctor. This particular patient will be only as a result of, so they still get the appointment.
Right. No, I
Communication.
wasn't speaking about that, because what I'm saying is that the bus is on a schedule. The bus don't know who's going to be out there waiting for them. What I'm saying
they would
is,
know.
So because an app is not really difficult. So if they have an app that they could download, it with the GPS, it will tell them where the bus is at the moment and how long it will take to reach to where they are. All right.
Okay, Mr. Richie Bunton.
Listen out to
Calypso. Okay, thanks again. Okay, people concerned with the thing. We got about 5 minutes to go. if there are no other callers. They're still fighting the lines. We know for a fact. We can say for a fact. Okay, let's try this line. Caller, 11 voices. We would believe that Sister Henry would be trying to make... Okay, let's see if they're there. Caller, are you there? The phones are back. Okay, finally. We got about 5 minutes, gentlemen. Anything in particular you want to highlight before we come to the closure of this program?
Yes, just in case, pardon me, you need to reach anyone in this media association. You can call me, Mr. Bergen, at 664-3429. You can call our secretary at 762-7320. I repeat, 762-7320. And Mr. Rockcliffe will give his number if you need to speak to any one of us while I'm looking for Mary or Tony.
So you're the president, and Mr. Rockcliffe is the vice president.
Yes.
So the top honchos.
Yes.
Star on second. Mr. Rockcliffe?
Yes, they can reach me at 668-9939 or 465-9939. Mr. Moderator, in terms of wrapping up, right? I just want to say something very quickly. And this goes mostly for persons, who are visually impaired or persons with low vision. Blind folks, we all have telephones, right? And in checking our balance, it has been a major problem. Sometimes the audio isn't working. You understand? We cannot see, when you press star, I think it's star 120 pounds, something to that effect. We cannot see what is on the screen. Mm-hmm. So we depend, we are highly dependent on the audio, and too many times that audio, it don't work. I would like to appeal to the company, the service provider, if they can, work on it to assist us as persons who are blind and visually impaired, or persons with low vision. And what I was told one time is that some of the perhaps the company, they just they toss them aside. But that is what I was told. So I want they have to take into consideration not only sighted persons, purchase phones. We also purchase phones, and we want so based on our disability, we want the kind of service that would assist us. You understand that we don't have to go and ask nobody to.
Mr. Bergen, a letter has to be sent to these entities. Yeah. But quickly, though, before you guys wrap up, I want to thank Mr. Tango Glasgow for assisting Ms. Carl Astafan in getting that phone for Ms. Petra Maxine Morton. She was on Wednesday. Her car was stolen some time before, and her phone was also stolen in that situation. So from the program on Wednesday, Carl Astafan and Tango put some funds together to buy her phone, which they did. So I want to thank Tango because Miss Astafan, because she was the opposing, she got great job. So I want to make sure that Tango is mentioned in that particular conversation also. So, Mr. Bergen, we got about 2 minutes.
Appreciation is extended here to the recovery of the phone, but we also have 2 other contacts number here, which is Mary Clark, which is 663-4116, Mr. Anthony Mills, 663-9077. I will also like to
9077?
Yes.
Okay.
I will also like to take this opportunity in closing to just thank each and everyone who have supported the association over the years. In whatever little form or aspect they might have reached out to us, whatever, we would just like to say a big thank you, much love and appreciation, and we look forward for your continued support as we move forward to further improve the lives of persons with disabilities. I thank you for having us. Thank Win FM for accommodating us today. And we are hoping to do some more programs at the different stations in the coming week.
Okay. You have been listening
you
to
so
another
much.
episode of Voices on WinFM 98.9 on your FM dial. My name is Socrates, host for this program. We've had with us today Mr. Bergen, Mr. Joseph Bergen from the, president of the St. Kitts and Nevis Association of Persons with Disabilities, and Mr. Radcliffe Bowen.
That's right.
From Guyana with a nice voice, a big chef in the place, etc. He's the vice president of this association. It's been a pleasure. It's been an education. And whatever opportunity affords itself in the future, please don't be shy. Welcome you back to the studios, okay?
Thank you,
I want to
sir.
thank the engineer for trying, Mr. Jamster over there. The challenge of the phone line, of course. Thank you. Thanks, Sharon. Thanks, management. It's fantastic Friday. Enjoy it. Be safe. Hopefully, I'll be back on Monday.
Here are your Horsford's Value Mart IG Value Club Blue Tag Special.
Running October 6 to the 29th.
Dole fruit bowls, just $12.49 each. Chobani Greek yogurt, $5.69. Hot Pockets, $13.99 each. Bigelow teas, just $9.99. Gain dish detergent, $8.49. Fiora bar tissue, $19.99 each. And now our very low weekly
Value deals. Betty Crocker cake mixes, $6.99. IGA or essential every